Alright, let's do it. So, you know how, if you've been following along, I've said I go to the gym at 6 because there's nothing ever on at 6. Well, today is the first day something came up. So it's 5:30 at the moment because I have a physio session at 6:40, which is the earliest physio session I've ever done. But the awesome thing is it frees up the rest of my day, so I don't have to take a random hour out of the day to go do that. So go to the gym a bit earlier, finish the session, straight into physio, and I should be home normal time, which is pretty good. So the last couple of days I've been sending cold emails to businesses, particularly car dealers in New Zealand, to promote my new business, Dealify. And yesterday I got my first sales call from it. So sent about maybe 17 emails to 17 different businesses, and I found one they're kind of a perfect fit in terms of the stage they're at, the requirements they have. So I'm really learning about what type of customer is going to be the customer I need to go after. And it's going to be tricky. I don't know if I'll necessarily be able to find the info, but I've found that, it has to be a customer who's quite up to date with technology, no surprise, and who's at a particular phase in the business with their finance operations, reaching that kind of threshold where they're like, do we hire more staff? How are we keeping track of this? And just a car dealership who appreciates the finance part of their operation. So found one of those people, got another demo call with them today, and hopefully we'll get them set up with a trial and they start using the product. So that was really exciting because I'd been sending a bunch of emails, and it was like, are any of these going to work? Like, is the content good? I can see with the email tracking that people were opening the email but wasn't getting any replies. And so I was like, is it the content? So I did actually change up the content a little bit. And I went with the classic cold email subject line of quick question, all lowercase. And if you search your inbox for quick question, especially if you're a business owner, you'll find a ton of people have sent you emails with quick question before, because it's a classic, but it works. So I did a quick question, cut down the email size by about half, so it was maybe like 3 or 4 lines, and then got a reply. So might have just been coincidentally that I hit the right business at the right time, like I was saying before, or it could have had something to do with the email content. But either way, making subtle tweaks as I go to really try and find the ultimate combination. So I'll keep talking about updates as I go. I've got I've got a list of about 600 dealers to contact, and so I'm going to be doing them all, not just doing a big email blast, because that's illegal, doing a cold email blast, because of the anti-spam laws in New Zealand, which are pretty similar all in the Western world, really. So every email is individual and personalised to each one, and you got to verify on their website they haven't said don't contact me and all that stuff. So got quite a few more to go, so that's really promising. But yeah, that's off to a good start. And then had a meeting with my co-founder Tom yesterday afternoon, and we're really getting cranking on the marketing activities coming up for tax season, which is going to be a big time of year for Navexa. It's where really the customer's problem becomes acute, especially after end of financial year ticks over, and it's now they're on a time limit of I got to file my taxes really soon, and they're faced with the choice of, do you do it by hand, do you pay an accountant like quite a lot of money, or do you pay for software that you're going to need to use every year, and it's really good at tracking performance. So it's a good time of year coming up for us. So on that note, pulling up at the gym. Car park is quite dead at this time. It's good. Haven't been this early before. Park car. Alright. So I'll see you not only after the gym, after the physio. We'll get into it then. Alright. Physio done. Gym done. Let's get into it. So I'm actually finished up or heading home a little bit earlier today because I had to do the gym before physio, and then I've done the physio, so I've actually gotten quite a lot done. It's only just past 7. Good feeling. So today, heading back home to do a lot more emails to car dealers for Dealify. Usually what I do, because it's already like 9 a.m. or so in New Zealand, so now is kind of, I think anyway, a prime time to be emailing people, because I feel like that's kind of a common habit. You get into work, you check your emails, you deal with anything, and then as the day progresses you get super busy and you're doing all this other stuff, and then so emails are just going to get lost in the inbox. So my kind of routine at the moment for the last few days has been start work as soon as possible, around 8:20, and fire off some emails, like 10 or so, to 10 different businesses. So it's about 10:20 a.m, so it's still even a little bit late. I might get into the habit of scheduling the emails the night before to go out about now, so that by the time people respond, I'm already back at home, and I think that'll work quite nicely. So I'll do that. Then there's a bit of Navexa support to do, because the fun never stops there. There's always things going on. And then today, I'm hoping actually to record some videos for Navexa around tax time coming up. And what we're really trying to do at the moment with Navexa is become like a content machine, because we have an awesome product. We have a whole stack of customers who really love us. But there's just so many people in Australia and around the world who have never heard about our product. And you basically can't expect to sell something if no one ever heard that it existed. So, becoming a content machine involves producing video, producing newsletters, might be producing blogs depending on our capacity, and then just distributing that to as many people as possible. And like with tax time coming up, it's a really good opportunity, because taxes, people don't like taxes. People don't like paying taxes, they don't like calculating taxes, they don't like thinking about tax. And I was one of those people until I had to code our tax engine with Navexa. And once I really understood tax, I was like, this is actually really interesting. And instead of thinking about it as, oh, this amount I have to pay, like begrudgingly pay each year, I flipped it to how much money can I make in this situation. And what I mean by that is, particularly when selling stocks, there's different capital gains tax strategies you can run that result in a very different capital gain or loss figure that you report to the ATO. And so if you can run a CGT strategy that's more efficient and means you have less of a capital gain, you actually pay less tax. And so I've flipped that mindset to actually I'm getting that money back rather than just running the default FIFO strategy. If you don't know what that means, look it up. Rather than just running that and paying whatever it is, you can actually play around and do the minimized gain strategy or the manual parcel selection strategy, and you end up paying less tax. And when you understand that, then even when you execute a trade, you've got that, is this a tax efficient move in part of your decision process? And I think a lot of investors don't think about tax implications at all when they're doing their trades, and they might sell something to get some money out and end up with a huge tax bill, whereas it's like, if you'd thought about it, you could have sold this other thing you owned and it would have been a capital loss and you wouldn't have paid any tax on it. So once I understood it, it became a really interesting part. So I'm hoping to make a bunch of content around that explains how tax strategies work, explains kind of the common scenarios people get themselves in and how you can minimize that tax burden. I think that will be game changing for a lot of people. And so my goal is to kind of teach people how it works, so they could do it by hand on a piece of paper or a spreadsheet. But really, and that only works when you're kind of a beginner and you don't have a lot of trading history or a lot of trades that you've made. Excuse me. But as you get more complicated, or you've been trading for a decade or two, there's way too much to be able to store in your head or on paper or on a spreadsheet, and that's where a system like ours really comes into it. So I think it's going to be good. So, pulling up at home, ready to start. So I hope you have a good day, wherever you are. Remember what I always say, work on high leverage activities, do stuff that has big impact. And all the other little stuff that isn't going to make any difference if you do it or not, just forget about it. And that's what I'll be doing. So I pull into the garage. So on that note, get after it.